You pulled me out.
Welcome back.
Don't welcome me back. I'm not happy about it. I was enjoying my time hiding away from things. But I said biblical. He knows that. I told him biblical.
It's why he pulled me out.
Yeah, so, what's so biblical, huh?
Well, we got a biblical plague, and there's more.
Okay, so, last I remember, we were... We went to that parade.
Pride.
That sin parade, yeah.
Well, they were proud to be what they were that day. There was twerking on both sides of the sex fence, and, you know...
That was June. So,
Oh, alright.
Where are we at now? June, that was the end of June.
We're almost a year later.
I mean, almost a year later. What do you mean?
It's June.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
It's June 5th.
Anyway, you said there was a plague.
Oh, there is.
So plague. Let's go. Plague. Tell me about this biblical plague.
Okay. We have a lot to get through, so we'll get to this plague.
Oh, fair.
So, a few days after Pride, and you just snuck away, and you just lifted weights and bettered yourself, and you came to the conclusion that a strong body produces strong thoughts.
Yep.
On July 2nd, a solar eclipse happens.
Did it do anything, or just an eclipse?
And then 11 days later, a hurricane happened, and it caused $500 million worth of damage.
That hurricanes? Okay.
And
Sounds like a regular...
Well, I mean, these things happen,
Of course.
but we lose sight of them.
Right, so I'm assuming the plague was like what? Anyway, sorry, continue.
So on the 17th, El Chapo...
He's still recording, huh? Okay. No, you know what? Plague.
He even has 17 locations around the 718 zip code recording 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, but he only streams it to people specifically on the dark web for a fraction of a Bitcoin every couple of hours. Because that's what he does. So on July 17th, El Chapo was sentenced.
Great.
In these United States for it's sad because he replaces Gaddafi as our Saturday morning, like, G.I. Joe villain of the week.
Come on, we got El Chapo, right? We got him.
Yeah.
We got him. This sounds great. Come on, keep going. What other great things happened?
In July.
Yeah.
July 24th, Boris Johnson wins.
I mean, yay? All right, go Boris.
It's almost as bad as on July 30th. India bans triple talaq.
I don't know what that means.
Cameraman knows what that means. It's an unusually unique but somewhat obtuse from either an academic or from a sociological perspective that cannot come off without being unnecessarily difficult to a culture and a faith that is often defensive against all outsiders.
Sure. I'll look it up later, Cameraman, don't worry.
So, August 3rd, something terrible happens in El Paso at a Walmart. There's 23 dead, 23 injured.
Something terrible. Like a boom kind of thing?
A gentleman with an excuse to make people scared of firearms.
Fair enough. That's okay. That sucks. This took a turn. Alright, whatever. Something about a plague. Go ahead.
Next day, less than 13 hours later,
Yep.
Something similar happens in Dayton, Ohio.
Seriously?
Yes.
Fuck.
It wasn't 23-23. In Dayton, Ohio, it was 10 dead, 27 injured.
Jeez.
So he kind of beat his secondary achievement record.
I don't think you should. You know what? Don't word it like that.
It's fine. We'll have it your way. August 10th.
Hmm?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Does?
He's officially no longer with us.
Someone got him?
Someone got him.
What? He's doing that on purpose, right?
Presumably.
That makes it worse. Just go ahead. You're almost done with the page. Let's just get this over with.
August 19th. We're reminded that even within a country, there's in-group fighting that starts as protests, then becomes riots.
Where does this have to do with the the biblical thing.
Well, in Indonesia, there was a riot, not the riots.
The
Plural.
right, yeah.
But a riot happened because there were differences among people who dwell in the same country but fall upon different ethnic backgrounds, as according to
Haynes. Biblical.
it happened in Indonesia.
Great, biblical. What? Finish the page. That's the end right there, right?
No, August 21st. The Amazon catches on fire
Okay, so where's the? Oh, there are more pages.
again. September 4th. The Hong Kong protests begin.
So are these like?
They're partially the riots, but they are also a riot.
Great, there's the riots. All right, whatever. Where's the plague?
September 11th.
Oh God, what happened on September 11th?
Water is detected on K218b.
That's good, right? Right? I don't know what that is, but that's good.
That's never happened before.
What is K218b?
It's a planet somewhere out there.
You know what? I'm just happy it was not a bad thing on the 11th.
September 27th, 500,000 people protest for environmental reasons, led by a Swedish teenager
Where?
in Montreal.
What happened to Bill Nye being like the environmental guy?
Justin Trudeau was doing the heavy lifting, better known as the Prime Minister of Canada.
With a teenager?
Yes. From Sweden.
Sure. Okay. Right.
You know, in the movie Cameraman, is it? No, it's that basketball movie with fucking Woody Harrelson and Will Ferrell, where someone cracks a joke about Sweden being able to make a good fuck film. Yeah, no one remembers that. No one remembers that movie. Andre 3000 was in it. No one cares. Welcome to the pipeline. It's just never-ending bullshit, and Cameraman has to write it down. Old-fashioned. No one remembers except Cameraman. And maybe the Library of Congress.
Where's the plague?
October 4th. Hong Kong protests. They're no longer allowed to wear masks.
What does it matter? No one cares. What do you mean masks? Like masks?
N95 masks and or better. But most people have worse.
No one fucking needs to wear a fucking N95 mask. What is it?
No, but because of the plague. That's biblical. Which is why you're here.
Oh, okay. Fair. When does that happen? I mean, what are we in?
We'll get there. So then, October 8th, the president of Ecuador fucks off from Quito to Guayaquil, and his former palace in Quito is overrun.
Okay. Next.
Hilarity, then chaos ensues.
Great. You're rubbing off too much on them with all this global Go.
So, let's see. October 17th, El Chapo's son is arrested for what his dad was doing.
Cool. I mean, alright.
And then the cartels play GTA IRL, and they showed up in pickup trucks with 50 caliber machine guns, and everyone was armed to the teeth. And then bloodshed happened, and then dozens of people escaped from prison, and they caught 7 of them. And then they gave up El Chapo's son to stop the bloodshed that was causing all of this.
So it was pointless. Okay, yeah, sure. Why not?
You know, I'm pretty sure if you Google the words narco state, you're not going to find what you're looking for, but you know it's true. And that's Mexico, because Mexico either has a dead or a corrupt prime minister, or a president. I mean, Ecuador has a president. Like, what does Mexico have?
Russia has a president, doesn't mean anything. Whatever, go.
October 23rd, 39 Vietnamese bodies in a truck found in Essex.
Stop keeping track of this stuff.
Essex is in England.
I know where Essex is.
You know, Cameraman is a smarmy son of a bitch because he's all like, hey, you know, fucking England you rule a third of the world and now it's ruled by the third world. Fucking, that's all him. It's just, you know.
What page are we on?
The next one. November 14th.
How much did I miss?
Well, you know Venice?
Yeah.
You ever play Fatal Fury 2? You ever play Fatal Fury 2?
What happened to Venice?
You ever play Fatal Fury 2 and you're in Andy Bogart stage?
Yes, what happened to Venice?
Alright, remember the boats with the canals and the water?
Yes, I know, but...
So Venice got flooded.
Great, give it back to Poseidon.
I mean,
Let the dolphins run that shit.
Poseidon can't do anything meaningful until he gets California first.
Whatever. Venice is flooded. Big fucking deal. It's a city built on water.
Give Cali to Poseidon.
It's like asking. It's like when Manhattan floods eventually, they're going to be surprised. You built it.
But this comes in order because first, Cali will receive Poseidon. Florida, because the limestone is not strong enough to uphold
and
all of
Manhattan
them.
because built in waterways. I get it.
But it has to be in order.
Plague. Where's the?
Okay, fine. November 25th. Greenhouse gases get a new high score.
I mean, that makes sense with the whole flooding thing.
Yeah, but there's no sign of stopping, let alone a decline.
I mean, the planet's fucked, so. Listen, Haynes, I've been hiding away, escaping all this nonsense. I said biblical. Don't get me wrong, that's pretty good. That's human intervention, though. That's us doing damage. I'm glad we're dying.
Well, you know, you wouldn't believe me if I told you, but he used to do jumping jacks in a hazmat suit with a gas mask underneath the hazmat suit with, like, aerosol cans spraying into the air, hoping he can facilitate the ozone layer slowly depleting as he got fresh air outside, but it was actually stale air because he was in a hazmat suit while wearing a gas mask.
It never happened, but it's a good idea.
Alright, I mean, we're not in court, but you could deny all you want, like Cosa Nostra or the cops.
Right, sure. I was told there was a plague.
And on
I'm not hearing much about a plague.
November 26th, there's an earthquake. It's the worst earthquake of 2019.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe leave with that. You know what? Move on.
On November 26th, the worst earthquake of the year happened in Albania.
Not what I meant, but sure. Go ahead.
And then December 20th, the Space Force is established.
What's a Space Force?
It's a branch of the United States government, and where we're going to have to be doing battle, asymmetrical warfare, if you will, against China, Russia, and maybe 2 other countries.
Wait, like the Air Force?
But in space.
Dope.
Because, yeah, China has a stranglehold on Africa, strip mining it for all of its worth.
Hey, I don't care about Africa. Space Force. Dope.
Yeah, and then we could fight for natural resources on the moon.
Like Gundam.
Like, hopefully. I mean, it's just going to be people in, like, slow motion.
It's not going to be as cool as Gundam, but, you know.
But imagine...
Wait, is Elon Musk still a thing?
He's still a thing.
Cool.
Him and his wife gave birth to a child, and they changed the name because it was gay-tarded.
Okay. Where's the plague?
And on December 23rd, Khashoggi, you remember him, right?
No, I've been in a fucking closet for a year.
This gentleman was a dissident journalist in Saudi Arabia, and in the Turkish embassy in Saudi Arabia, he was cut up into pieces, most likely by a chainsaw. 5 of the people responsible for this are sentenced to death on December 23rd.
Great.
And 3 people responsible for his death are sentenced to 25 years in prison.
Fantastic. I'm glad that journalistic integrity is being looked over in the Middle East.
And then Christmas Eve happened, and then Christmas Day happened. And then on December 28th, that transformer over in Con Edison, it exploded.
What do you mean exploded? Wait, what? Over right here?
Yeah.
What do you mean? What happened?
It's like, you know when you see fire depicted in an RPG and it's always red?
Kind of, yeah.
But it was blue.
That's awesome.
It was pretty wild. Cameraman, show him. It's pretty wild.
I mean, show me later also, but whoever you're showing them to.
And it was really, it wasn't loud like when when one of the generators blow out and it sounds like a plane is taking off. It wasn't bad like that, but it was blue and it was dark and it
like blue fire. Like how much blue fire?
Are we going by Alien 3 on SNES like blue fire?
Like how far could you see it from?
Because blue fire was the weakest fire, and then there was red fire, and then I believe there was
like
green
how
fire.
far could you see it from?
From where we live, from where Deadline used to live over on 28th Street, all the way up until maybe Hazen Street, you could see it by the naked eye.
Damn.
It's pretty lit.
All right. Okay. So that's the end of December, right? We're the 28th.
And then Chinese lung herpes happens.
Is that it?
That's the biblical.
Okay, you tell me about it. What's going on with this?
Oh, well, it's changed their very way of life. And
No,
now
no,
we're-
all right, but like, what, I mean,
Oh, it's just, okay, because we'll get to it.
I see more pages.
A lot has happened. Like, everyone's focused on the here and now. But we are the...
I'm having a hard time dealing with the fact that all this, you know what? Fill me in, Haynes.
Okay.
I gotta know. We got a biblical plague, and we got shit blowing up, and apparently riots. You know what? Go. I go.
So, on January 1st, 2020...
Pointing at people now.
we enter a year that honestly, like, you could call it what you will, but it's equal parts lowest common denominator, equal parts there is a writer's room on the other side of meat space. New Year's Day happens, and then the day after that, Australia catches on fire.
Again. Great.
It's like the 13th or 14th time it's happened.
Is it bad this time, though?
It's the first time it's happened in New South Wales.
Okay, that's new.
But it happened in Australia, where these things happen.
This has nothing to do with the plague, but sure.
Did you know that, like, on the coast of Australia are jellyfish, and they're called the king killers because they're, like, yay small, but they'll kill you if they bite you?
You know they have snails that paralyze you in the ocean?
And they just, it's an entire death content because Australia #1!
Trust me, I know all about the deadly... Go ahead.
Oh, one day later...
Chinese lung herpes.
One day later, Soleimani, he gets hit by a drone, and then...
He was, I know that name.
Well, now he's ground beef, but he was kind of a big deal in Iran.
Right, so what is... He got drone striked. What is...
Hilarity ensued.
What do you mean hilarity ensued?
World War III happened.
Are you fucking kidding me?
And then it didn't happen. And then, let's see, 7 days later, this is still breaking Middle Eastern news, the Sultan of Oman, he's dead.
No, good.
And his son takes power.
Go on.
It's how they do in that part of the world.
I understand that. You fucking baited me with fake World War III.
Imagine how, like, New York City would be if, like,
Nope, move on.
if
Nope.
Wilhelm de Blasio passes away, and then, like, his son has to take his place, or his wife.
His black son?
Ugh, his half-black son.
Go
Don't
on.
be so insensitive.
Go ahead, move on. I'm not the one that fucking made a point that he did.
Okay, so on January 16th, the impeachment of Donald Trump begins.
Wait, like an actual impeachment?
Yeah. Like a Bill Clinton impeachment, where nothing happens afterwards.
Holy shit! All right, no, go ahead. You got my attention. Plague and an impeachment.
And then January 28th, I tweet this.
Is that what those are?
It's,
Wait a second, you have a Twitter now? Does that say @718TV?
It's cameraman's Twitter, but he doesn't have a phone, so it's my Twitter.
Yeah, he uses my phone, but I've had it. Who are you tweeting at?
Just like 6 people who are watching this right now.
Oh, you actually have followers now.
Some.
That's pretty cool.
I'd be lying if I said it.
World quarantine?
Yeah, on January 28th.
Wait, that... World quarantine.
I was 2 weeks late.
That actually happened.
Everything else happened, but I was 2 weeks late in the world.
No, the world quarantine happened.
Yeah.
Go.
Let's see.
You're holding out on me.
2 days later,
Biblical indeed. God damn.
The World Health Organization declares Chinese lung herpes an international concern. So February 11th, the World Health Organization declares the virus to be named COVID-19 because machine learning algorithms are looking for words being said out loud. 16 days later, the stock market crashes.
Fucking A. From this virus?
Well, in general, you see, Cameraman made a video on it.
Whatever it is.
Those same 6 people watched that video. You know, he's not wrong.
They just dope.
Well,
We have an actual plague?
well, it's not only a plague. People call it a recession, but it's actually a depression.
Whatever. Fuck that. The plague. Come on. Keep going. What happened?
Okay, so things get from bad to worse. The World Health Organization declares Chinese lung herpes to be a pandemic on March 11th.
Okay.
Remember those, the world quarantine?
Yeah.
It's not so much a globe around the globe upon which our mortal tread is made upon, but it's more like different countries closing down borders.
When did we go into quarantine?
In the middle of March.
Really?
Well, that was around the time if you walked in public and you didn't have a mask, you would be looked at like you just danced on somebody's grandma's grave.
You know, Haynes, I've been asking for a new plague for years.
Well,
Anyway, does it get worse?
it gets better, and by better, I mean worse. On March 16th, the Dow shits the bed so bad that the Federal Reserve has to intervene.
Damn.
March 20th, all non-essential employees have to stay home. So no one pay attention that Zoom is owned by a shell company owned by China.
What's considered essential in New York?
Delivery people, although you could still be arrested for being a delivery person. And I suppose if you're wearing a corporate mascot outfit, you are essential.
I don't believe you, but continue.
But you know it to be true in your heart. So India, on March 24th, locks down. And on that same day, Britain locks down.
Because of the virus?
Yeah.
Cool.
And you've seen Akira?
It's my favorite animated film, you know that.
Alright, so, but the ladies and gentlemen at home don't know that.
Who the fuck are...
There's 6 of them. So,
You know, I'm surprised that in 10 months... 12 months?
11 months.
11 months. 6 whole subscribers. Congratulations, guys.
You know, I'd rather have... listen, 6 whole subscribers can't be wrong. So...
Anyway, Akira? Something about that?
So the Olympics were set in the Akira universe to occur in 2020.
Yeah.
Specifically the Summer Olympics.
Yep.
So the 2020 Summer Olympics here in meat space, on whatever timeline you want to call this, it's prolonged until next year.
Because of the virus.
Right, because life imitates art, imitates life, imitates turnaround, imitates doesn't end. So April 1st, China reports 130 asymptomatic cases for Chinese lung herpes, and this is a first.
Asymptomatic, like no symptoms?
Like typhoid Mary, but with Chinese lung herpes.
But like no symptoms it's a good thing, right?
Like they're fine. Like they could go run, jog, lift weights, crush push on Instagram.
Right, but that
be balls deep like a dog in a bathtub.
Is that a good note or a bad note?
Just eat more pussy than cervical cancer.
Is that a good note or a bad note, Haynes?
It's a bad note because he doesn't show any symptoms, and then like let's say he just gives like some woman a hot foaming beef injection. Now she's got Chinese lung herpes and trench foot all up in that.
What's next on the list?
Let's see. April 5th. The Bronx Zoo has a tiger infected with Chinese lung herpes. So, if you were a flu man, sir, like if this was Final Fantasy Tactics, so you would figure out how to make bird flu, and then you would get that flu to like a pig, and then you get swine flu, and then if you could get the swine flu,
tiger.
Yeah. So a tiger in the Bronx Zoo has Chinese lung herpes.
Okay. Yeah. No, I got that. Tigers can get it.
Oh, all living things can get it. I mean, I don't know how it would work if, like, you know, you just cough on a fiddler crab and you throw him back out into the bay. I don't know if it'll work like that.
Sure.
But it kind of does. So 2 days later, April 7th, Japan declares a state of emergency, and they give a lot of funding for this thing and start scrambling. Did you know...
Wait a minute, hold on. So there was lockdowns in other countries.
Yes.
And if I'm not mistaken, based on those fucking notes, we were in some kind of weird quarantine lockdown thing, right?
Sometime in March, for the first time in over a century, they power washed the insides and the outsides of the trains.
So like what
on the MTA?
What took them so long?
everyone is kissing the ass of the World Health Organization, which kisses the ass of China. I mean, that's really
Okay, that's fair. No, that's fair. Where we at? Come on.
Ethiopian
Hit
man.
me. I see a list. You guys have been on point with this.
All right, so on April 8th, Saudi Arabia and the Houthi in Yemen, they declare a ceasefire, and thus begins a reoccurring theme of blood feuds, border disputes, beefs, and long-standing grudges. One by one, they begin to fall and stop because everyone has to stay indoors, scared to death of the outside world, because Chinese lung herpes is slowly ravaging the world and the landscape that we know and come to have loved it. But we've taken it for granted. And then when you take something for granted, you lose it. And then you're like, hey, wasn't that thing great? And that thing was our fucking lives.
Did mosques shut down?
No. But some churches didn't shut down, and neither did some synagogues.
Sure. No, yeah.
I wonder if the Sikhs' temples shut down or not.
I'm sure they didn't.
Or if, like, Buddhist monasteries shut down.
How is this virus transmitted?
I'm pretty sure there are some Orthodox Christians who carved out a cave on the side of a mountain and just...
How is the virus transmitted?
It's either... Okay, so it's all bodily fluids. There's coughing. There's spitting up things that look like possessed, power-leveled phlegm
Right,
with
like-
a bonus multiplier. It could also go through your eyes.
The fuck is this virus?
This virus is checkpoints of people in military fatigues putting up things against your eyes to see if your eyes indicate that if you have a virus or not, because they have drones that do the same thing.
Shit.
Sooner or later, Officer Hypnodisc is going to be at your front door, and it
I don't
eats
want
your
that,
thoughts. Officer Hypnodisc, instead of regular cops that plant crack on people,
What?
Officer Hypnodisc plants psychic tumors in you in your driveway.
Where we at here, huh?
So the death toll of Chinese lung herpes in April 10th, it hits 100,000, and on the same day, that whole Kivu Ebola epidemic is set back. The first time since February they've seen people die of Ebola. So coupled with Chinese lung herpes, it is now a special DLC kind of Chinese lung herpes.
All right,
because
but
you're vomiting blood a week after exposure, but the same way people conflate death with Chinese lung herpes in these United States, they just say, "Oh, he died of Ebola," turned into a zombie. "Oh, he died of Ebola." He's slowly being paraded around by an illithid. "Oh, he died of Ebola." He was drunk and had rubella. "Oh, he died of Ebola." Yeah, these things happen.
Right.
So on April 14th, business as usual is over, and Amazon is the only surviving faceless and nameless multinational in the economy.
That's the most sense I've heard this entire time.
And it's not pretty because, there are countless bodegas and small family-owned businesses
Nah,
from sea to shining
don't
sea.
support those shitheads. Amazon's where it's at. Move on.
Jeff Bezos...
You keep leaving your house. That's the problem. What's next?
Do you think Jeff Bezos leaves his house?
No. I think Jeff Bezos is a sentient AI and we've lost control of it. Continue.
So is Jeff Bezos like a counter Skynet to the Skynet we know as Google?
No. He's the only Skynet. Next.
So on Hitler's birthday, oil is now less than pocket lint.
Like, worthless?
Less than worthless.
Cool.
3 days later, Facebook clamps down.
On?
Everything.
Sure.
I mean, now, if you want to maintain your ordeal and you get in trouble with the Facebook police, you have to show your ID up to a camera and then take a picture. And if you're not proper enough, you did not scrub the EXIF data off of that photo. And now Facebook knows the geographic location that you took that picture in. So even if you did scrub the EXIF data, it's still a picture of your driver's license, so they know who you are. And that's if you're not posting what they agree with. Because they're clamping down.
Okay.
So, 4 days later, the Pentagon leaks 3 videos, and it says they can neither confirm nor deny the existence of UFOs, instead of calling it swamp gas.
So like UFO videos.
Yeah.
From the government.
The Department of Defense. Otherwise known as the Pentagon.
That's great.
Then, one day later, there's riots in Lebanon.
Okay.
Because of the economy.
Sure. With the virus.
Maybe, because they're not the riots, they're just a riot.
Keep mentioning, you know what, riots. We'll get there. I'm sure we'll get there.
So, May 3rd, Brazil reports 100,000 deaths of Chinese lung herpes.
We're in the millions, though, so that's fine.
Well, cases were in the millions, deaths were in the hundreds of thousands.
Oh, okay. Right, fair.
Right. But that's not taking into account things like Mother Nature fighting back against 5G towers. That's also not taking into account, people are blaming the pandemic on specific races, sometimes sex coupled with race, and it's really weird.
You keep calling it Chinese lung herpes.
Because it came from China. Wuhan's in China.
I can't argue that logic.
Well, if you could tell us where a wet market exists anywhere else in the world, we'll give you half a Bitcoin. Cameraman's good for it. Right, cameraman?
No, he's not. Why do you keep looking? He's there. Stop looking at the computer.
Well, that's... Alright, don't believe cameramans are NG. 3 days later, on May 6, astronomers find a black hole visible to the human naked eye.
Like nearby?
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're wearing flannel, you could still see it. It's just like the naked eye of humans. Like, it could see a black hole.
What? Oh.
It's not deduced by math, and it's not proven.
No, yeah, like you can visibly...
Yeah.
A black hole.
It's in,
It's crazy.
H126819.
Oh, that means whatever it is.
It's the closest black hole to us.
It's fucking great.
So, on the same day, Chinese lung herpes choke slams Iran through a table. 3 days later, on the 9th, China and India start shooting at one another.
Over?
Land.
Okay.
Because reasons.
Okay.
May 14th, Chinese lung herpes death toll at 300,000. Now that's official. That's not counting unofficial, because if you had underlying pre-existing conditions and then you got Chinese lung herpes, not good.
Okay. So, we're getting pretty close, right?
The next day, the 15th, the fossils of the world's oldest land animal was found in Scotland.
Great. What is it?
Oh yeah, and then 9 days later, on May 26th, the George Floyd protests begin.
What are the George, what?
So, protests started because a man was killed by the police.
Oh, hold on. Like he was doing something and he was killed, or?
According to legend, he was using a counterfeit $20 bill, and then a knee was placed on his neck, and he's no longer with us.
So he didn't do anything and he died?
Alright, so herein lies the problem. He died. So...
But like he's not like a violent criminal? Like... Hold on.
No one wants to bring up the fact that he has a track record, but... And there were things found in his toxicology report that no one else wants to bring up. But much like an artist, once you're dead, then it's much easier to make you out to be something you're not because you can't defend yourself.
What does that have to do? Why is it on the list, though?
Oh, so...
Why is there protests?
So, George Floyd is black, and he was killed by a white police officer. So we've been long overdue for a while. This has been, it's not bad like in Ferguson, where they had a no-fly zone overhead because they didn't want anyone reporting on what the police were doing. But now, everyone knows everything about everything, so ignorance is a choice in these mumbo-jumbo times when everything is immediately available in the disgusting 24-hour, 7-day-a-week slosh. So, when the second autopsy confirms what the first autopsy says, everyone's going to have to put back what they took. Every bit of glass. because there are riots, because they started out as protests. Here's what happens. So,
Hold on. This is now.
yes. So now we're in June. So where does that leave us? There's Chinese long herpes.
Yeah.
There's locusts.
What do you mean locusts? You didn't mention locusts.
They've been there since like January.
All right, fine. Locusts.
There's a lot to be locusty about. So shit's on fire. Shit is still on fire in both an organic and a natural way.
Yeah, the protests, I guess.
So World War III is being waged. Now, not in the way that the CIA considered the Cold War to be World War III, but World War III in the unofficial asymmetrical warfare of big data, PMCs. And whoever figures out how to get Apache helicopters on their side, outside of armed forces, that man will be crowned king.
Sure.
So there are riots from not only sea to shining sea, but they're happening in other countries.
Over. You know what? Good.
Well,
Good. I'm just happy I can come back out and enjoy a new plague, global riots. For some reason, there's a Twitter, and people are watching this.
yo, you 6 people are the best.
Nah, they're probably shitlords.
Alright, you 4 people who aren't shitlords are the best.
Maybe. Anyway, see you next time, I think. Right? Is that a thing we do?
Sometimes.
Alright.
Alright, so we have not sold his image to Japanese juice commercials where he's just all like, you know,
Was that an option?
I'm a foreigner in trouble. I can neither confirm nor deny those allegations.
Who's selling my image?
Probably cameraman. I mean, the Canary Islands is on fire, so anything I had set up, I can't tell you about until 2024.
You're going back in the closet just so we're clear.
Alright, so when the next horseman shows up, we'll hit you up, alright, dude?
Oh no, I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, nice.
I'm gonna wait for the next one.
Yo, you want to pick up where we left off in the City Ransom?
Sure.